And what is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New. I'm coming at you on this Wednesday. Coming at you on this Wednesday. And first and foremost, as always, want to send out positive vibrations and blessings to anybody who could be listening. Now, with all that being said, before we even get into what happened last night with the Los Angeles Lakers and the Memphis Grizzlies in that third quarter debacle, let's just first focus on the fact that we have breaking news that Anthony Davis will not be taking part in the second night of a back-to-back tonight against the OKC Thunder, which I found to be, I just want to go ahead and say it. I know you want to be cautious when it comes to these sort of things, and that he's been coming back from a foot injury. And I forget the last time that Anthony Davis did play a second night of a back-to-back. It's been quite some time since he's done so. And I understand you want to be cautious because he had this foot injury. It had been lingering. They want to make sure there's no bone spurs and everything of that nature. But to say it's a foot injury when he played the game, you have to list something. So with all these other articles and things swirling around saying, oh, will he be out extended time? Who knows? When was the injury? Blah, blah, blah. He was just fine on yesterday. This is simply just load management to the extreme to me, because if you're in the fight for your playoff life, you got to get out there and you got to handle business. Now, LeBron James, he is hurt. We know what the Lakers record without LeBron James this season is, what, 5-12 or something of that nature. And that's just not going to cut it. So it's up, when AD was out for those 20 games, now this is what, the 25th game that he's missed all year. But when he was out for those 20 straight games, LeBron James was able to hold the team afloat with a less roster of what they have now. So I thought that the Lakers could go out and handle business on yesterday, which I think they still really could have, and they was really in control of the game for the most part. If you look at the first quarter and the second quarter, they was actually up going into halftime by 3, and it really should have been 6, but they gave up a 3 on a jump ball with like 2 or 3 seconds that was batted down, and a 3 was hit right there at the end. So, but basically what happened, Ja just got into a rhythm in the third quarter, and he was pretty much damn near unstoppable. I pride Anthony Davis in being one of the best rim protectors in the league, but when Ja is on like that, there's not much you can do. It all started with them getting a lot of contact on some fouls that I think were actually questionable, where you had Vanderbilt, whose arm was straight up on a couple of possessions, Anthony Davis, who went straight up on a couple of possessions, and the players were simply jumping into them, creating a contact, but nonetheless went to the free throw line. We're not going to cry about that, because that's the way it is. Sometimes you're not going to always get all the favorable calls, and but could have been some calls that, went their way on some other sides of the ball too, that favored them, actually. So I'm not even going to just really complain about the refs. It was damn near evenly called game. The Lakers just simply, in the third quarter, did not show up and play as good enough defense as they had been for the other 3 quarters, and they just gave up way too much just for Ja Morant, who had 6 points in the first half and turned around and had 28 points, I believe, in just the third quarter alone. So that played a key difference in it. But one thing I do want to say is, Anthony Davis and Schroeder had some words for each other. They got into a little bit of a heated discussion on the sideline, because when Schroeder threw that errant pass into the post, which was one of the Lakers, 25 or 26 turnovers, you got to think the Lakers only lost by 10 or 11 points, and the game was close for most of the game. In the first half, they had like 15 turnovers and was winning. So all they had to do was go into halftime and say, listen, let's stop the turnovers. And the turnovers wasn't really a matter of Memphis's defense, getting up into them and causing turnovers. It's a lot of errant passes by the Los Angeles Lakers, and it really did not make sense. I know some of it is chemistry issues, but Austin Reeves and Anthony Davis been playing together for a while, and Anthony Davis, had a pass to Austin Reeves where Austin Reeves cut. He thought he was going to keep standing there. Just a lot of miscommunication going on. They turned over the ball way too much on yesterday to even think that they could win. But then, even when they fell out the game, they got back in the game after they went down by, I think, 13 or 14. They had an opportunity to cut it from 4-2, and then Dennis Schroeder with the turnover as well. I think Anthony Davis was frustrated more of the fact when it was 2 minutes left, when they had another turnover that pushed it right back up to 10, was Dennis Schroeder throwing a pass into the post to Anthony Davis, not even looking where the help was coming from, or letting Anthony Davis know he could not put the ball in that situation. And that was Anthony Davis was upset about it. And that's where you miss LeBron James, because LeBron James is the type player who is going to regulate the offense, who is going to take care of that business. You know, he's going to have turnovers from time to time, but of course, he is going to make things happen. And if you look at the advanced analytics, which I did, I took a chance and I looked at Dennis Schroeder and Anthony Davis in the first stint, because there was grumblings before Anthony Davis, if you go look back at the first stint, that he wasn't getting the ball to him as good as Rondo was. And that was a complaint of Anthony Davis before. Now, at times it does look great when he get the alley-oop to AD, and they got a good relationship as far as I know, as far as getting along in the locker room between AD, LeBron, and Schroeder. But the fact of the matter is, just the numbers do not lie. Even Westbrook and more people were getting way more assists to Anthony Davis than that of Dennis Schroeder. And if you look at it by 36 minutes, Dennis Schroeder, I think, only maybe 2 assists to Anthony Davis, where Russell Westbrook, Rondo, LeBron, other players, you're talking about 3 to 4 or something like that. I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was like that. I'll try to put the link down here so you guys can check it out. It was an article that was written just recently about this, and I can post it. That way you can take a look at it. But, you know, regardless, going back to what I'm saying about Anthony Davis not playing tonight, if you were going to sit out on the back-to-back night, and that's what you was planning on doing, which they said in the broadcast last night that wasn't the plan. So I don't want to be too concerned with this. I think maybe he said, you know what, it's a little sore. Let's not push it 2 nights in a row. Let it get rested up again, and I can go. Because I'm pretty sure he's playing through pain. So let's just go back and get the win Friday night against Minnesota. But at the same token, you should have set last night against Memphis, a team that's number 2 in the West, a team that's very good, who you said it was going to be tough to beat anyway. Let your young guns and go out and play against them, and then set Anthony Davis on that one. And then what you can do after that is play tonight against a lesser talented OKC team, probably without SGA, who hasn't been playing the last few games due to injury of himself. So Anthony Davis could play tonight, and that probably could have been an easy victory for the Lakers. But no, instead, he elects to sit this second night of a back-to-back. We know D'Angelo Russell was not going to be there. If he had been there last night, I think the Lakers would have had a great chance as well against Memphis. So they're showing what they can do. So if you can imagine this same team with D'Lo and LeBron James, then you would have been seeing the Lakers on the uptick. But of course, injuries has just not been in the Lakers' favor. You know, it's just not been in their fortune to stay injury free. And the people that's saying stuff about LeBron James faking the injury, that's got to be the most absurd thing. LeBron James, go back to the beginning of the season, and you can go pull the injury reports at the beginning of the season. This is something he must have been dealing with in camp and somehow injured, but he was dealing with that at the beginning of the season. And when the Lakers crawled out to 2-8, LeBron James could never really rested and get fully healthy from that. And then, of course, you had the guy rolling to his ankles, and this all stemmed back from, 2 years ago when what's his name? You know who we talking about. I forget his name, but it eludes me now. But rolled his whole body into LeBron's ankle, and it really hadn't been the same since. And he's had similar injuries that happened to him again. I don't know if they got a hit out on LeBron's ankle or what's going on, but at the end of the day, man, it's just been ridiculous, some of the contact that he gets. And for really the main thing that's ridiculous is the people who say that he is faking the injury, because that makes absolutely no sense. He sees his new squad, he likes what he sees, and I'm pretty sure even without Anthony Davis, with the likes of Vanderbilt and even Gabriel and Mo Bamba, that they'll be more than capable of going out and getting some victories. But at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. Hopefully LeBron James, he's getting his second opinion today. Maybe he'll get good news. Maybe he'll only miss another week or 2. Lakers, you know, could maybe go 4-4 during that stretch. Then LeBron James, D'Lo and company can come back and finish things off. The rest of the schedule, even though they got Memphis and Golden State again, they say it's the 5th easiest schedule. So they're going to have Chicago a couple times. They got Minnesota. They got OKC, I think, a couple times. So, you know, just take care of business. And, you know, things fell in the Lakers' fortune last night. Portland lost to Golden State. Golden State, just like that, was just down at 10. Now they up at 5. That show you how close it is. Dallas took another L. The Clippers took another L. Portland took another L. Utah took another L. I think Minnesota won, though. Minnesota won. They need to stop winning. Minnesota won, but the Lakers can take care of that Friday night and put their little win streak to the test. But you know, the Thunder on a 4-game losing streak, so they not looking good. I think maybe some of these teams here that they want to be in the you know, in the draft to get old. Y'all know who I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his name. I'm gonna get it right one day, but just not at this particular time. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He's 7'4", the phenom. But anyway, you know, I gotta get my little food, man. I just had to come say this real quick. I'm very busy, getting ready to go on this vacation, man. Got a lot of things going on with the workhouse and with everything else, so gotta handle my business. But as always, I want to send much love to everybody, man, and say right on to the real and much love to these haters. I'm about it. Peace.